welcome back to the channel, fool. Thanks for tapping in. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe for videos like this.
It's there.
Underground base, or maybe where the VHS goes.
I didn't believe it because have you seen how certain streaming shows will edit certain parts out?
They did that for The Passion on Netflix.
Yeah.
What did they take out?
They took out the verse from Isaiah at the beginning.
And I
Is that
saw
not making
that.
mad?
And I saw this one. I said, there's no way. Because in Robin Hood, the one with Russell Crowe, very first thing, there's a scroll that pops up and in old lettering, it says, in times of tyranny and injustice, when law oppresses the people, the outlaw takes his place in history.
And they took it out of Netflix.
Only in the U.S. Canada, Ireland, people are from Britain. They're like, it's on ours.
We're getting so played, you
In
guys.
America, and I just played it, and it doesn't.
We're getting so played.
It literally is just a blank screen for 10 seconds.
Everybody go buy a bow.
I mean,
my
this,
gosh,
you talk
literally.
about physical copies of things.
What are
they
they-
are erasing history, and I know it's just a dumb movie.
No,
if
but
you think
if
they're
that's
doing
a
it with a
little
movie,
thing- yeah.
they're doing it on such bigger levels.
Yeah.
I mean, it takes no time.
Exactly.
When digital comes through, it's like it takes no time for them
That's
to
so
do
crazy.
Are we turning guys into a full-blown propaganda machine? Let's ask Grok if this is AI.
So we saw the moon landings. Well, you saw the moon landings, and you believed it, but there was no way for you to check any of it. And now in the age of technology, as you said, a lot of the young people believe that it was faked, and that's because they are now investigating for themselves. How many people have supposedly gone beyond low Earth orbit, beyond 200 miles off the Earth?
No idea.
24. The entire history of humanity.
But what?
24 people.
So your point
but
is
what-
Only 24.
But
So
what
I'm
Ruth's
saying
saying is there was a whole control centre, operations centre, backup control, all sorts of things.
Do you know what happens
Building
in
a
the
rocket.
finance department of ITV?
in the
No
finance
idea.
department.
No idea. Do you know what
the checks
happens?
are late.
Do you know what happens in the executive office of ITV, right at the top?
No, but if somebody
tell
was
us
covering
nothing.
something
They tell
up,
you nothing. Exactly.
Yeah, but if
So if
somebody was
something did happen,
But if somebody's
would
covering
you...
something up,
Yeah.
everybody would have to cover it up.
No, they wouldn't, because you would know
Sarah,
about
what
it.
do you think?
The position of the sun shadows, you will add to that, that today, using today's technology, you cannot see footprints, which you believe shouldn't have ever blown away.
Yep. Well, here's the smoking gun. Here's
Yeah.
the smoking gun. We can argue all day long about,
Yep.
you know, what I think, we've never been to the moon. None of us have been, you know, below the surface, a certain, you know, altitude. Now, the only way we can discern whether this happened or not is by analyzing and studying the actual data that was taken during those Apollo missions, right? The scientific
not
data.
true. That's not
Hold
true.
on, hold on. Let me finish. Right? So that's the telemetry data, right? So during those 4 years that they did the Apollo missions, they collected loads of data, you know, biometrical data, design blueprints, etc. Right. To end this, if we had the data now and we could scrutinize it, if we could test it, which
Yeah.
is the scientific method, test it,
But you're saying
observe
it's not
and
been
research, not only has it not been released, NASA destroyed it.
They just didn't want to hear him out.
Swinging on a rope.
Yeah.
Like going in circles.
The real Spider-Man.
Please do it again, bro. 'Cause that was the funniest ever. I get up and I'm watching this. Oh, look, he's gonna do it, he's gonna do it.
Dude is living his best life.
You can't do that, Shiva. I don't want that seat. I told her in the first go. If she couldn't find the solution, she should have just said that, yes, let's go to the flight.
This passenger attempted to open the cabin door mid-flight.
No, I want. Now I want.
There's a lady here down that deck that tried to physically open the door.
She pulled down the door release lever as the flight cruised at 33,000 feet and a speed of 500 knots, triggering an alarm which alerted the crew, who swiftly stopped the woman with the aid of an off-duty policeman.
That guy, you ever seen that guy's behavior? This guy.
Yeah, because you shouted at me.
But you wouldn't harm me.
telling her that I just want you to
He was saying, no, we can't do it. That's not the solution. Out of here.
The Melbourne-bound plane was then turned around and landed back at Denpasar Airport in Bali.
We don't know why this was event, but unfortunately the safest course of action was to come back here and to return to land.
The woman was allegedly arguing with the Jetstar staff about her seat before it escalated. As a result, the passenger was removed from the aircraft and taken into custody by local authorities in Bali.
That's called welcome to the no-fly list for life.
You guys, tell me again that our moon is real. Look at that black freaking ring. Look at that. That is AI. Our sky is AI, I'm telling you. Look at it in the moon. It is literally like where you put, it's a black circle. Look at that. Look at that. You see that? Oh my god, that's crazy. What? It's literally like where you're gonna put like a color or, you know, a picture. And look at that. That's crazy. It's like a black line where the moon goes. And look at all the violet and the colors around it. I see this color with this, which is frequency in New Earth, this aquamarine and this lilac. Whoa. It's kind of going now.
That's a great catch.
Now, a lot of globe anti-flat earthers and even some flat earthers will say the sun's 3,000 miles high and 30 miles wide. That works, but it could be 1,500 miles wide and 15 miles wide, or it could be 7,500 miles high and, you know, 7.5 miles wide. Scaling and variance, we don't know. I'm making no claims on what the sun is, where it is, other than it's a local light, which we can prove by its rays. Go out on a moonlit night when there's scattered clouds, and you'll see that the moon is only lighting the clouds that are right next to it.
Mm-hmm.
If it was 250,000 miles away, it should light up all of the moon, all of them. What's the question you just asked? You asked me a question. Oh, the other planets.
Yeah, because we can see stars moving in the sky, and we can track Mars and Jupiter and all that stuff.
Yeah. So
if there's no solar system, there's no planets.
Right.
rotating.
When you look at planets, I want to keep this really simple. There's a thing called the inverse square law. Oh, the math, people freak out. It's very easy. When you have an object and it's a certain size, move it farther or move it twice the distance away and it'll be a quarter of the size.
Right.
Okay. And it's the same with the brightness. If I have something that's 4 lumens here, I double it, it's 1 lumen.
Right.
Right. It's a quarter. And it's the same as you get closer. When you go out at night and look at I like looking at Jupiter because it's the brightest star.
Right.
You've seen it.
Yeah.
It's brighter than any other star, right? It's as bright as the sun, but it's just very small. So Jupiter, they tell us, is a gassy planet, and it's 4 times farther away from the sun than we are. So if our giant sun was right next to us, it would fill the whole sky, right? Mm-hmm. We move it 93 million miles away, and it's the size of a coin held at arm's length, right? That's how we see the sun. If we doubled that distance, it would be like the size of an eraser, like the end of an eraser. And if we doubled it again, so now it's 4 times farther, it would be pretty small. It would be very small. So if you were on Jupiter, that sun is literally like a large star at best. And you have to believe that that distant sun is lighting up Jupiter. That light is reflecting off of the gassy surface, which isn't very reflective, all the way back to your eye, 400 million miles away, and we see it as bright as the sun. You're seeing a light in the sky named after a god. That's all I can say.
The most successful people in the world keep this stuff a secret. All the wealthy people, they don't go out there and start writing books on how to become successful. If they do, they write it with misinformation on purpose. Henry Ford said, if people learn the way I create money, then who's going to work in my factories? Think about that.
Question everything and don't take it all for granted.
it stays, like if there was a person or a being behind the wall hanging out.
In a nutshell, I basically discovered that if you project a laser on the surface and you ingest DMT, you'll see code running literally in the surface behind where you project the laser on. But when I discovered this, obviously first I thought that, you know, it was just kind of like a cool trick that happens with light. And then I started showing other people, everybody saw the exact same thing. And at that point I said, whoa, hold on, what's going on here? I was like, okay, I think I need to email scientists or something. Yeah, it was obviously not a lot of takers because, I mean, take yourself through the email, right? What you say, like, hey, I discovered we live in a matrix, right? I decided, you know what? I know how to make content, so I'm going to put out a video talking about it. Slowly, more and more people started paying attention. It's not outside of the realm of what, in some cases, is already possible with psychedelics. But there's something about the code that it's really hard to nail down with words. We're landing on at the moment is that there's something like just an object that just sits there. You're not like in some alternate space. It's like right there, right in front of you, and it's somehow in the subspace, in the surface, and it's super coherent and clear. And I think it's that quality of just matter-of-factness that really jumps at you.
I remember it's almost like looking through, if you were looking through like a peephole or something like that.
A peephole, it's like a window.
Yeah, well, like a slit in a wall, and there's somebody behind it. And if you look down, you see more of them up there. And if you look this way, like you see more of them. They don't move, which is the strange part, because it's not like as you go like this, it kind of, you know, moves with you.
And all you have to do is to crack the code. Where there is a blame, there is a claim.
007. Google, 2 O's.
Hollywood.
Yahoo, 2 O's. Facebook, 2 O's. What does that mean? That means they're showing you exactly what they're doing in plain sight.
James Bond. And what is James Bond's nickname, code name?
007?
007. That's
Why
exactly
the 00?
right. Well, maybe because spies look at you. Could be one of the reasons.
And look has the 2 O's. Keep going.
What else do spies do? They snoop. They snoop on you, spies, right? 00.
And since the computer age, they add cookies. 00.
Right. Isn't that a weird name, guys, to put cookies on your computer? Cookies? Why
give us
would
some
they?
more weird names.
What's the most popular website you can think of?
Google?
Absolutely. 00. You think Google's spying on you?
And before it was Google, it was Yahoo.
00.
You see what we're talking
00.
about?
Okay.
And by the way, we also have Facebook.
Yeah.
00.
These are the 3 biggest websites. And you know what? They're all absolutely spying on you. We just proved it with GG33 knowledge. We thought it, but now we proved it. Okay, so some internet companies happen to have 00s in it. Well, who are the real spies? Should we say the FBI are the real spies? Can we say that? Do you know who started the FBI?
Hoover?
Who?
Edgar Hoover?
Hoover.
Yeah.
00, everybody.
First director of the FBI.
Started by Hoover.
And what about the moon? 00.
The Pinocchio movie. Pinocchio, his dad's name is Geppetto. That's a little funny. And his nose grows. That's not phallic seeming at all, is it? Why does his nose grow when he tells a lie? Oh, what else should you just lie about it when it grows? He gets swallowed by a whale, but let's forget the part where Jonah gets swallowed by a whale. Let's rewrite it. The history. It was Pinocchio that got swallowed by a whale, not the guy from the Bible. Don't think about the Bible. And then what does the guy take him to? Stupid little boys. He takes stupid little boys to Pleasure Island, where they get turned into asses. Like, this is movies in our culture created by people that are in the elite that know about this kind of stuff, that are doing these kind of things. They hide it in our culture in your face and make you think that that stuff isn't happening. Like, there's so much stuff connected to movies and the industry and all the stuff that we watch. All the things that we watch, it is like hidden right in front of your face.
Movies have always been their favorite way to tell the truth without telling.
Okay, Grandma, let me see what you got. Let me see what you got, Grandma. Do it again, Grandma. Come on. I'll take that.
Come on, get it.
Let me see it.
Come on, get it.
Light it up.
Come on.
Damn, that thing got recoil.
She is.
Lauren and Ed rolling over in their graves right now.
I met Maharishi Mahesh Yogi. He said, what do you do? I said, I study the brain. He said, tell me more about it. I said, neuropeptides. He said, what are they? I said, they're molecules of emotion. He said, they're not real. That was kind of jarring. Okay. What you're studying is Maya, the world of illusion. If you come to me and I'll show you another world. So he said, give up everything you're doing and come and study. I said, I have a family. I have a mortgage to pay. I have children. Where's the money going to come from? And he thought for a moment. And he said, the money will come from wherever it is at the moment. Take the plunge. So I did. And the money came because I started writing books, etc., more than I could have ever imagined. But it was leaving one world for another. I realized that everything I believed in was a superstition, that matter itself is a superstition. Physicality, the physical universe is a superstition. There's no such thing. There's only consciousness.
Absolutely everything is consciousness.
This clip is blowing up on X and across social media, and you won't believe why. It's not just because the powerhouses in the room are French President Emmanuel Macron, British Prime Minister Keir Starmer, and German Chancellor Friedrich Merz. It's what's on the table, and what they tried to hide. A mysterious white bag, a tiny spoon. Merz subtly slips the spoon out of sight. Macron? He slyly pockets the white sachet. Caught on camera. Look at their faces. Guilt, panic, something else. Netizens are buzzing, whispering about something sinister. Something starting with the letter C. What do you think?
Oh yeah, great move, because hiding it totally made things better.
I don't valet my car at the restaurant anymore because they're running scams. If you're sitting at the restaurant for 2 hours, they basically go into your car, park your car, pull up your GPS, find out where your home is, send 2 guys over there, ransack your place while you're at dinner, and when you're leaving, they're calling saying, hey, get out of there, they're coming home. This isn't safe anymore.
Take notes, fam, take notes.
I fell. I was walking down the stairs. I hit my head on the banister. Jay Leno's on video. His whole left eye, his whole left side of his face is black and blue. And he has fallen down a hill, he claims. What's going on is something called soul scalping. And this is where a draconian, virile-powered parasite, a reptilian, comes in through the left eye and within 2 weeks kills the soul of the person it's inhabited, but takes over their memories and their consciousness. And it appears as though these people are not going through an initiation. They're not being punished for anything, but they're notables and people of influence. Now, we don't know this.
What's the first rule of the club? You do not talk about the club.
Oh, wait, you're Jewish? Wait.
This is beautiful in here, actually.
Wait. Hold on. We should say a prayer, no? Look at this. This is amazing.
Go ahead, bro.
No, but I'm saying, come on. Let's all get together.
Get on your knees, guys.
Well, I'm not gonna get on my knees,
Yeah, no,
but
I'm gonna get out. I'm gonna get out of here.
This is wow.
I'm gonna get out of here.
This is, shalom, shalom. Shout out to all the Jewish people in the chat.
Kabbalah is real.
What I have learned is that we live in a dream, a carefully constructed reality. We make use of a science that is tightly controlled and suppressed and distorted. I think we are left behind. Humans. I think normies, the normal humans, the people have been left behind. Us. Mm-hmm. People need to understand that we might have freedom of speech, but that has been subverted. We do not have freedom of inquiry. We are blocked from learning what we need to know. Just in the public world, we are blocked from advancing in science. We are taught false science intentionally to prevent us from learning more. We live in the matrix.
In this construct of reality, you've got more power than you think.
Oh no.
He's definitely not a New Yorker.
Well, what the hell's he on about? I go up on a plane, I can categorically see the curvature of the Earth.
That's retarded. Literally, you've literally never seen the curve of the Earth. So if
you stand on the Burj Khalifa in Dubai, the tallest building in the world,
the ocean comes to eye level.
At the top, you can see it go round.
You can't. You think you can?
What can I see then?
Go to the Bournemouth. Go fuck the Khalifa. Go to Bournemouth Pier.
Right.
Put your feet in the water. So the thing, like, I know I'm a tattooist, not a scientist, and all this crap. I tattoo geometric tattoo work. I like geometry. Yeah.
Yeah.
Basic geometry. Yeah. A sphere. So imagine the Earth now as a ping pong ball. Yeah? Get rid of all the lumps and bumps and water. It's a ping pong ball. Yeah. The ocean, the top of the ocean would be the top of the ping pong ball. We agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. So go and bury your ankles into the ping pong ball. So the top of the ping pong ball is now in your ankles. Yeah. So go stand in the ocean. Yeah. It's a giant ping pong ball. Yeah. No, say it's 5 times bigger than what they've told you the Earth already is. People go, yeah, it's really big. That's why. Then it goes down. There is no way, geometrically, you should be looking straight up at the horizon. There's no way the water and the sky should converge at eye level if the top of the water is going away from itself in all directions. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
If you've got a sphere, wherever you stand on the sphere...
You can't see the end, is what you're saying.
You can't see the fucking...
Because it should be going round and down.
Yeah. Your eyes are fucking higher than it. So there's no way that you can be looking at a horizon at eye level where your feet... My eyes are 5 foot nothing, 5'5", whatever I am, fucking higher than the top of the sphere, yeah?
Yeah.
But I'm looking up straight and it converges at eye level.
But are you not seeing, say I'm stood here and I'm looking out like that, or sorry, I'm probably more looking...
You've done it there.
I'm probably more looking that way.
You're not though. Well, exactly. You've just done it. That's exactly.
Fuck's sake, he's got me, guys.
That's what I'm saying. So then, get this then.
Is it not just though when it's as far as the eye can see is when it looks like a horizon?
It's as far as the eye can see, exactly. But the convergence point of the floor and the sky, if the floor was going down around itself, would be lower than eye level. It would be at the level of the top of the floor, which would be at your ankles. And then you get onto the sand, so you're now higher than the top of that ball, yeah? It's still at eye level. But the higher you go, if the only way you should be looking at eye level, if the Earth is a sphere, is if your eye is at the fucking level of it. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And as soon as you get higher, it should, even if it's humongous, it's so fucking big, it looks flat, yeah, as they tell you. It should be there. Even if it looked flat, it should be slightly down from eye level. And the higher you get, the lower it would get, and it would round itself. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
So I kind of understand what you're saying.
Yeah, it's basic geometry.
Saying.
It's just common sense. So then you go on the fucking promenade, which is now even higher than the sand, higher than the top of the ball. It's still at eye level. You go up the fucking zigzag into the penthouse of the Hilton. It's still at eye level. You can go up the building in Dubai.
Yeah.
I guarantee you it's still at eye level, mate. Like I've been on an aeroplane.
Well, technically, it's... I see what you're saying. So I am looking at it.
The higher you go, the more of it you see. So it converges wherever you are. The sky and the floor converge wherever your eyes are.
So let me try something else. So is the moon and sun round?
They look to be round, but round doesn't mean spherical, does it? A coin is round, isn't it? So they look to be round.
When you look up, yeah.
Are they spherical? I don't know. I don't know any more than you do. Is a coin spherical?
But if you look through a telescope at the moon,
yeah, I actually bought a.
You can almost see that it's not a flat surface. It's doing this.
Maybe it does. Yeah, I don't know.
If you zoom in,
I've actually bought a Canon P900 when I was trying to get my head around all this stuff, and it was one of the main things. I was in Nepal. I bought the thing in India, and then we went up a fucking big mountain in Nepal to a temple, and the moon was out. It's the middle of the daytime. And this camera, the P900 at the time, I zoomed in, you can see the craters, you could, like, it was fucking crisp. Do you know what I mean? You can see this thing real close. And then with the camera, I looked at like a fucking little speck in the distance, zoomed in on it, yeah, brought that into view, seen the next little speck, zoomed in on it to the point where the camera could like just make out this little flag in the distance. It was blurry, and wherever I moved my hands, it was miles away. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I knew then that the moon was closer than that flag, and that flag was still in Tibet because I can't see any in Nepal because I can't see any further than I'm not seeing into another country with this camera. Do you know what I'm saying? So I know then, just by observation, direct observation, that the moon is closer than that flag because the camera has zoomed into that clearly and it hasn't zoomed into that clearly. Do you know what I mean? It's just obvious.
I see
It's
what you're
not
saying.
that far away. You can see it's not that far away. When you, but mate, the corpuscular rays of the sun when they're behind a cloud, like they come from a center point that you follow the corpuscular rays, you can see that it's just there. Like, I've seen pictures where the sun is below clouds and stuff. Do you know what I mean? The information is out there. Like, it's just
Okay, so let me try something else.
Water always finds its level.
Y vea como donde pasa el agua queda brillantica. Es increíble y está totalmente fría. Ella está totalmente fría. Fría, fría la... No, una belleza.
Esta es la esfera de Buga. Es sólida. Tiene lo que parece ser algún tipo de circuitos. Tiene algún tipo de nomenclatura, de letras, de símbolos. Tiene estas medias lunas muy porosas que parecen ser una especie de cavernas hacia su interior. Es absolutamente sólida. En el costado tiene lo que parece ser un cinturón. Pues algo que nunca imaginamos de estas esferas. Realmente se trata de un verdadero hallazgo, de un hallazgo extraordinario que tiene que ser investigado. Se trata de un chip cuántico. Esta esfera levita, es evidente que levita. ¿Cómo lo hace? Pues realmente no lo sé. Una investigación que solo se acaba de iniciar. Soy Jaime Maussan y esto es Interestelar. Hasta la próxima.
¿Qué carajos? Y un globo no es. Eso se ve como algo extraño. O sea. No, es súper rápido. Es una pelota, no es, ni un globo. Un globo no es. Eso es otra cosa. Y estamos acercando. Se alcanza a ver. Mira cómo alumbra de varios colores. Eso es como metálico, ¿cierto? Mira, mira cómo se mueve a mera velocidad.
El testigo se acerca hasta el lugar. Él ha querido mantener su identidad en el anonimato. No desea que se conozca por razones de seguridad quién es. Él se acerca hasta la esfera para hacer algo que nadie esperaba. Tomó a esta esfera con los riesgos que esto implicaba con sus manos. Esto
con cuidado.
nunca había sucedido antes.
Cuidado. ¿Pesa mucho? Pesa como 2 kilos.
Cap or not?
A friend of mine was opening my eyes to the existence of various elite pedophiles rings. Very weird. A lot of the people who are involved in such activities have occult beliefs. And doesn't that mean that if they're going to go to all these risks and these moral horrors as part of their beliefs, that's putting a lot on the line for something that you actually think is a lie. If it were true, though, then that would at least mean that the spirit world is true, like demons exist. Well, then doesn't that mean it's possible that God exists? So that led me to think maybe I should read the Bible. I was reading everything carefully, sometimes twice. I was looking up answers to all my questions to, understand what it meant. If you actually study that stuff, it makes sense. There's a reason why very, very smart people, some of the smartest people in history, in fact, have been Christian.
The daughter of a cryptocurrency CEO was almost abducted in Paris this morning. Here's the footage. It's so scary.
Appelle la police, Chloé. Oui, tu appelles le 17. Le 17, Chloé. Le 17, oui. Le 17.
Last year when I went to Paris, I made a video about how being in a city in a foreign country was scary for me as a woman when I went places alone. But I also mentioned that I was traveling with a girl who was from New York who was not fazed at all by being in a big city like Paris. They totally ignored that nuance and chose to just tell me I was just a scared American instead of a woman alone experiencing something new for the first time. I got over the fear, but of course it was new, it was scary. I wasn't being a scared American, I was being a scared woman. And it's valid to be scared as a woman in any situation you're not familiar with when you're by yourself.
It's a crazy world we're living in, so always keep an eye on your surroundings.
Let's not conflate it with being black. Otherwise, you'd have to defend Rachel Dolezal.
Well, there's no. Well,
would you defend her?
There's no defending crazy. That's crazy. But
why is that crazy?
Hold on. Because she was a white woman that says she was black.
Yeah, that's a man saying he's a woman.
But let's back up.
If you're gonna say that a man can just be a woman, why can't Rachel Dolezal just be black? You got to be consistent.
Because she's white.
Okay, because it's a man.
No, but hold on. I get it.
I'm right.
I get it.
I'm right.
No, I don't agree. And this is not a matter of right or wrong.
But it is.
Hold on.
This one is.
Let me tell you.
Why isn't Rachel Dolezal black?
Because she's a white woman.
Okay, because it's a male or it's a female.
What?
He gets it, but he's in denial.
And you still say that autism is caused by vaccines?
Yeah, autism is caused by vaccines. And by the way, CDC's own data, they did a study called the Verstratton study in 1989. And they looked at the hepatitis B vaccine. They looked at children, and from the biggest database in the world, the Vaccine Safety Data Link, they looked at children who got the hepatitis B vaccine during their first 30 days, and they compared those to kids who got it later or didn't get it at all. And there was a 1,350% elevated risk for autism among the people who got the vaccine.
And you've heard right, fam. And who's leaving Costco? Their own version of bubble bath.
Are convicted in their belief. And so, to Jack's point about using some of the lie detection technology, particularly for eyewitnesses, not only can we put information in without blowing up your brain, we can put it in and then you can believe it so sincerely that the problem is you can testify to that effect. And in fact, we've seen this in a number of ways. The police were doing lineups where the suggestibility of the information was so strong that people would later identify a person that they'd seen. For example, you show a picture lineup and only one person has on a jacket and nobody else does. And then when you go to the live lineup, because your brain triggered that there was something different about that person, you identify the person who you've just seen, but not realizing that it's because of some difference. And then you've seen them twice, and now you're asked to testify as an eyewitness, and you're so convicted about having seen that person commit the crime, even though that person's utterly innocent, that it becomes a planted memory. And so there's some really interesting research that we can plant false memories in the brain. And in a different context, one of the emerging areas that's really interesting in law neuroscience is pain detection. And once we understand the circuitries that cause pain, I guess the question is, could we then instill pain and use that in many coercive measures in the legal system as well? So
Sounds evil, but it's real. He cared, but just for a second.
Is it true that the Social Security number of just about every single American is available for sale on the dark web?
That is a true statement. All of our personally identifiable information, name, date of birth, form or addresses, Social Security number is available on the darknet and can likely be purchased.
That's chilling.
Yeah, it's very much a way of our lives though right now.
And purchased, I hear, for as little as $2 a piece.
Yep, very affordable.
While TikTok is labeled a national security threat. And AI is playing games.
Barack Obama was made president for two reasons: make the black community safe for homosexuality, and go into black Africa and make the resources safe for American corporate exploitation. That was it. He had a gay agenda and he had an African resource agenda, and that was it. That was it. Barack Obama built AFRICOM in Africa, African Command, U.S. military bases strategically placed throughout Africa where the resources are. And now we have a brother, a president in Ibrahim Traoré of Burkina Faso, along with President Chiani and President Goita of Niger and Mali, respectively. They have built the Sahel Alliance, trying to make Africa free for African people. And now this House General Michael Langley, who's now the commander of AFRICOM, he's putting out misinformation about Ibrahim Traoré, the number one Pan-Africanist in the world. I'm number two, but he's number one. And they're putting out misinformation about Ibrahim Traoré, saying that he's using the gold of Burkina Faso, not for the benefit of his people, but for his own personal gain. Nothing could be further from the truth. Their brother wears the same kind of clothes every day, eats the same kind of food. He did not accept an increase on his pay when he became president of the country. Extremely humble, just like Thomas Sankara. I believe he might be the reincarnation of the great Pan-Africanist Thomas Sankara, who actually changed the name of that country to Burkina Faso, who was murdered by his own best friend over power. And so what I'm seeing from Ibrahim Traore and General Goita and General Chiani is exactly where Africa needs to go. Ibrahim Traore and those other two brothers, all three of them, the Trinity, they are the most important black men in the world right now, because what they're doing is creating a reality that could potentially reshape how the world operates on behalf of black people in years to come. But they got a lot of enemies. And they even have house Negroes in Africa working against them. So we got to keep them brothers, in their prayer. But that African that they're going to try to use to overthrow our brothers in the Sahel, that was put there by Barack Obama. He made African more popular than it had ever been before.
So does that mean they've got Rocky Road or what?
There's this huge robot, and it's literally like Transformers. All right, so there's this guy at the bottom here, and he's going to crawl in. The center of this robot just opened up as a capsule. And this thing is huge. Now you're going to see him controlling this robot from inside. Now look at those arms. Look at that. Look at that fluidity. That's legitimate Transformers. So what happens when this becomes reality?
That's a glimpse of what's coming next.
Because mercury is a very dense liquid. A liquid so dense, cannonballs float in it.
That's the year of the snake.
Brian, what were fairies in the ancient mythologies?
Demons, bro. They're demons. There were always demons. You can look up the historical context of fairies. They were evil. They were wicked. They're Nephilim offspring, bro. They're angels hybridized with like small creatures and made some kind of weird, deformed little miniature demon thing that was terrorizing people. They kidnapped children. They kidnapped babies.
Yeah, that's the craziest thing about Peter Pan when you actually just think about what this movie's about. It's about this character who's got Pan in his name. Pan, the deity Pan, the goat demon Pan.
Yep.
And so before Peter Pan goes into these children's room, when their parents go to bed or parents go out for the night, he sends a little scout first. This little orb. This orb goes into the room to check it out. And Peter Pan is like literally like leering. He's at the roof, like looking, and he looks all sinister. He comes in the room, and then he takes the children who are in their pajamas out their house to this place called Never Neverland. They always say you don't grow up in Never Neverland. It's because you don't have a chance to grow up
because
there.
You die.
Yeah, because you're dead. So yeah, Peter Pan is evil. Hook is the good guy in Peter Pan.
Always hidden in plain sight.
I know them ain't the LED lights.
Okay, let me get a pack of
them the LED lights?
19.
How the hell you get that right there, man?
That's
the LED lights out there? Yeah. Hey, look, man, I was down there to see myself, not bit. God!
It costs enough.
How much it cost? How much it cost?
45.
45?
Yeah, I'm this one fucking laid, huh? He got that bitch. He got it drawn in. Like
Man, that shit candy paint, man.
He better. He said he better.
Candy paint switching lanes.
A major question has been solved, and this truly will blow your mind. We have been looking at the periodic table and structure of the elements through an outdated lens of sight. In the year 1926, Walter Russell published a new theory of an octave, spiral-based periodic table. Just as Nikola Tesla changed the way we view reality, so will this octave, structure of the elements. As tones on a piano, the core elements created in this universe are frequency-based. In the same way the visible light spectrum is, everyone has a harmonic tone to it. Using this spiral octave-based structure, he was able to predict future elements. This view of the elements is like looking at a tornado from the side in a spiral structure. But when looking from the top down, just as a galaxy spirals, you can see the toroidal formation that is the base derivative to the structure of reality, the flower of life expressing itself in motion. With this understanding of octave-based harmonic frequency, we can advance life as we know it into the sci-fi reality from Star Wars that feels impossible until one day it is not. Just as we send energy waves to communicate globally, we can also transfer electromagnetic energy this way and power the planet wirelessly, as Nikola Tesla discovered in the early 1900s. Gravity no longer becomes a confining constraint, and as proven by these experiments, where people are able to levitate objects and water, we will soon, with the power of harmonic tone and frequency, be able to travel the planet in an alien-like way in future planes and spaceships. With a shift in our understanding and base principles we currently use from the current outdated view of the periodic table was created by Dmitri Mendeleev in 1869. This is a basic two-dimensional Euclidean view. To a more advanced harmonic frequency-based view discovered by Walter Russell, the world will change as we know it in the next decade.
Stand still. Don't come and investigate, but stand still. Stand still. Stand still. Hey, hey. 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 Come in. Stand still. Hello, Mama. Stand still. Hey. No. Yeah. Hey, hey, Amba.
Stand still and run away.
I'm not saying this video is real, but if it is, we all have a reason to be concerned. One of my followers shared this video with me, and we both are skeptical in its authenticity. I've been saying for decades, the things out in these mountains, out in the wilderness, we have no idea. I'm just going to roll this. You be the judge. Let me know in the comments. Again, I'm not saying it's real. Probably not. You watch it, you decide, and let me know. Check this out.
True or not, it's creepy either way.
The allegorical bloodline on the male side is the dragon bloodline or the raven bloodline. Dragon's the most common. On the female side, it's the fairy blood or the owl blood, and fairy being more common on the matriarchal side. Now, they have a process in the occult called the quickening, and they sort of take that from the Bible in terms of the KJV language when Jesus was crucified and was raised back into heaven. And so they use that as a quickening, as in, if people are familiar with the old series, and I know I'm an ancient person, but there was the Highlander series of movies and TV series where they had the quickening. That's where they took the energy, the spiritual life force in that process after cutting their head off, which was a typical way you wanted to keep a giant dead, because they had the ability to heal themselves. Particularly as you take that back to the Rephaim after the flood and the definitions of their name in the original Hebrew that produces the word Rapha, which is 7495, which is to heal.
This is fucking crazy! What the fuck?
Just throw him a book and a beer.
Kid.
Kid.
Cut everybody electrical. Kid. Yo.
Lower it! Lower it! Lower it!
Yo, he's a kid. Yo, he's a kid. Yo, two steppers. Oh, hey, get the in the car. Get the and do that. Yo, two steppers. What the? Oh, I'm getting you. What the? Come get him, yo.
He burnt. Oh no.
Hey, top tier camera work.
You must understand that you're not the body. When you die, you don't remember the body. You remember the experiences that it had, right? The soul traveling. The body doesn't exist. So if you think about a body, you're going to keep getting reincarnated. That's your eternal life. It's eternal misery. Just keep coming back over and over and over and over because you love your body.
So is there any point in working out and being healthy?
Yeah, you got to do that. You got to tame the body. You got to work out to tame the body every day. So you got to tame the body because it'll do what it want to do. I just told you the body has its own mind. It has its own thing. It just moves. It just do what it do. So you have to tame it. You have to make it work out. It don't want to do it, but it gonna do it. And everybody got the same strength. Everybody got the same everything. Everybody can do what everybody can do. We all get the information from the same place. It's what we breathe. It's not air. It's information. So the information is breathed. It's not learned in no school. The school wipe your memory. If they want to teach you something, go outside and do some yoga.
That's what
Learn all you want to know. I swear to God, my mama.
You're not the body. You're not the mind. You're not the spirit. A trip and be dead.
What is Maha Bone?
That's actually one of the code words in Freemasonry that they'll identify each other with to tell what their initiation level is within the Freemasons. So that's one of the hidden words when they give the secret handshake and they whisper in each other's ears. That's one of the code words they'll give each other. Maha Bone. And Maha, make America healthy again. You think some of these slogans that they pick are random. They're really not. There's always a hidden occult meaning behind it. And of course, MAGA represents magi. So yeah, I mean, you're talking about magic, high ritual magic in conjunction with all of that. And a lot of people overlook this stuff because we've been indoctrinated to think of that stuff as nonsense in the modern era.
This day we will play in his mind for the rest of his life.
Well, look at Anthony Anderson, right? And says you're entertainer. Look, y'all, he kissed him. And then they got a sauce called sweet and spicy.
I mean, their slogan is, we got the meat.
There is a German scientist, his name is Konstantin Weil, and he demonstrated that the human DNA is like a receptor. It has the ability to transmit information using scalar waves across the entire universe. Because for those who know what scalar waves are, it goes through physical objects. There's nothing can stop scalar waves. So when you have a thought, it has the potential to traverse the entire universe and back.
Wow.
Is that insane or what? Faster than the speed of light, because it's not going through the normal linear waves. When you think about that potential, it's so much more exciting of all the things that you can do. This means that you can bring information from any part of the universe instantaneously, translate it into your human brain, and create what you want. That's, to me, the ultimate future human.
Quantum physics is already catching up with spirituality.
So first they try to lock you up. If they can't lock you up, they try to get you on tax evasion. If they can't get you on tax evasion, they try to get you on some type of scandal with a woman. They can't get you on scandal with a woman because you do too disciplined. They try to call gay allegations. They can't get you on a homosexual allegation. They kill you. Look, they've been running the same playbook since the beginning of time.
The same playbook for years.
Oh, okay.
Pizza's ready.
Building, unnamed buildings, just like rolling this, I don't know, barrel full of like brains or something. You see that like falling out? That's tripping me out. He's like looking out to see if there's.
And don't ask me what's in there.
God damn it, we live in a simulation. Okay, everybody go outside tonight. Look at the moon. It's a map of the Earth, and it lines up perfectly, but there's extra land. If you were to take a globe and flatten it out and put it on the moon, and the dark spots on the moon, it lines up perfectly. And then you'll realize, oh, wait, there's extra dark spots. And then you start thinking about extraterrestrial. Well, what does extra mean? Extra means more, terrestrial means land. Are aliens really just beings from the extra land that we don't know about because we are literally lied to about everything on this planet? That's what I want to know, Phoenix.
Where the ice wall is?
God damn it. I'm going to give myself the trombone. Because we've been played.
I have a feeling that we have been hoodwinked.
Yeah. Yeah. And Mrs. Birdie just said, can you stop yelling? Your pizza's done.
And they played us good.
The Bible does not say that God created man in the Garden of Eden. It says the gods created man and put him into the garden. And when they left the garden, they left and found people out there. It says so in the Bible. All around the garden were people. And when Adam and Eve were told, had two sons, Cain and Abel, when Cain kills his brother Abel, God says you have to leave out of this protected area. Cain says to God in the scriptures, do not send me out there because anyone finding me out there is going to kill me. God says, no, I'm not going to let them kill you. I'll put a mark on you. Now, God believes there's somebody out there. The point is that there must have been people out already there, but not as highly developed and not highly evolved. It would be reasonable if you took a caveman or a Neanderthal race of people and took two out and then through some sort of a high technology genetically changed them and evolved them quickly and then send you back out into a Neanderthal civilization. Now you're going to be totally different, and they're going to remember that you left and now you come back different. It all smacks of something else that's in the Bible that we haven't been told.
And that's a wrap for today, fool. I hope you enjoyed it. If so, don't forget to hit that smash the like button for me, smash that subscribe button, be part of the family. Remember, stay woke, and I'll catch you next time.